evening, race fans. I'm Pirate here with Black Flag Racing TV, and we are back with a new season of the GR4 lottery. Normally we'd have a break in between seasons, but we decided to get it cracking straight away. We have changed it a little bit, so let's give you a quick rundown of the changes. So first of all, there were only 5 cars on the wheel. We'll go through those cars in a minute. Also, we've reduced it from 3 races to 2 30-minute races. Now, very different qualifying, so we're going to do 1 qualifying session today, which will be 15 minutes. Once that qualifying is over, that will set the grid for race number 1. The second race will be a reverse grid from race number 1, obviously rolling starts. Race number 1 next week will be reverse championship order, so there'll be no more qualifying sessions. So, settings for this season. The basic settings are going to be random, 4 times afternoon starts. BOP is on. Tuning set to 670, although most cars can't reach 670 anyway, but it's there just as a safety net. Boost is off, slipstream real. Damage is visible, light damage. 2 compounds must be used. It will be different each race. This particular race is soft and medium tyres, and they will be depleting at times 4. Fuel also times 4, starts at 50 litres, refill 5 litres per second. The shortcut penalty is strong, wall collision is off, car collision on, pit lane penalty on, auto drive is off, of course. In terms of the race calendar, that's what we've got. It's an 11 race series, and I'll explain why in a minute. So today we're at Sardegna A in reverse. We've then got 4 more rounds before we go to the midpoint. The midpoint is a special event, a special stage Route X. There is no restriction on tuning for that race. You get the most you can possibly get out of your car and go for it. And it will be a point scoring race as well. And there may be a little joker event involved in there as well, which I will talk about later. And then we're on to the second half of the season, which takes us right into February. So the cars we will be using, first of all, is the Aston Martin Vantage, just under 5 litres, front engine rear wheel drive. In fact, I think all the cars here are rear wheel drive. Just under 400 brake horse, 1,350 kilos, naturally aspirated motor car. Then we have got the GR Super. I'm not going to go through all of this kind of stuff, you can read for yourself. GR Super race car. We have got the Nissan Silvia Spec RS15. All very similar cars, as you can see. We've got the Porsche Cayman. Didn't have a better picture of that one, so that's the one we've got there. And we've got the BMW M4. They were the 5 cars that went on the wheel last night. We stuck them on 4 times each. So basically 20 minute cars. It's just to allow people an opportunity when they can't race. We're operating a ticketing system. So you have 2 essentially tickets. So you get 10 points if you can't make a race. You have 2 of those a season you can use them whenever you wish. So who got what cars, I hear you cry? There we go, there's the allocation. So Forza, Ozzy and Mike got Aston Martins. There's still an Aston Martin left on the wheel. Avalon, Tom, Bandit and Nick got the BMW M4. Jay, Fubar, Stormfly and Cool Runnings all got the Porsche Cayman. The Silvia went to Grizz, Kevin, Wiggy, and there's 1 left on the wheel. And then we've got Manx, G-Mac, Yellow Sausages and Phil, all in the GR Super. So there's still 2 cars left if anyone wants them, of course. So qualifying will start imminently-ish. I think there's still practice at the moment. So quali starts in 1 minute, so we'll see quali starting very soon. I did get someone did do a track guide for me. Thank you very much, Paul, for doing it. I didn't get a chance to edit the video. No, I've just been too busy today. So no track guide for you. We'll do it on board somewhere here. And yeah, that's what we'll do instead. So that is what we have got in store for you today. I think without further ado, let's go and have a look at who is going to be out there. So let's get rid of that. We're going to be qualifying very soon. So we've got who in the room? We've got Forza from the High Pre team in the Aston Martin. Kevin, of course, in the Silvia. There is Aussie Rooster. He is in the Aston Martin. Yes, he is. Ozzy in the Aston Martin. Manx in that GR Supra. Fubar is in the... I'm trying to remember what cars everyone's in. But I can't. He's in the... that's the Cayman. He's in Porsche Cayman. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what cars everyone's in. Cayman there for Stormfly. Average Tom, he's in the BMW M4. He actually put that suggestion on the board and ended up with it. So if it goes very, very wrong, it's instant karma. Avalon in the BMW M4 also. If he's having an issue, should we, someone misses Philly, get Philly if he can't race. I don't know if you heard me or not. Yeah, if he can't race, then get Phil in. He can take that space. He's on the wait list. Nick John Baker, he is running in that BMW M4. Now, to be fair, I think cars are all very similar to, and if you look at the entire race calendar, there's going to be strength for every car at some point on the race calendar. There is Bandit. Bandit also in that BMW M4. Looks like Ranger's having a bit of an issue getting in the room for any length of time. But we do have a backup in Phil if he wants to come in and race in Ranger's stead. Wiggy is in the... What did he get? I forgot. He got the Sylvia. Wiggy got the Sylvia. Old man Jay got the... didn't he get the Sylvia as well? Although no, he got the Cayman, Porsche Cayman. We'll do a full run. So basically, I think he might be in the room now. I think we might be okay. Is it working? Is it working? That's the question. I think we just start qualifying, get on with it and see. That would be the plan, wouldn't it? So, track info. Not enough to really tell. There's your track there. 3.18 miles, 15 turns. This is the reverse of Sardegna track. Quite tricky track, especially if you don't know it that well. Some really fast corners, not too many slow corners here though. So it is going to be quite intensive on your tyres. There is at least one mandatory swapping between the soft and the medium compound tyre. Start on half a tank of fuel, so it's really down to, I think, preference on how you want to run it. Whether you want to start on the mediums, burn off that fuel and then jump onto the softs, or everyone's got their favourite tactic. We'll see what people decide to do when the race begins. So it looks like everybody is now safely in. Cool Running's got the Cayman as well, I think. So far, fastest lap out there has been Kevin with a 47.9. But our qualifying will begin, and we will find out. And bear in mind, this is the only time we're going to do qualifying here. 15 straight minutes of qualifying. It's the only time we're going to do qualifying for the rest of this season. It will all be done from reverse grids or reverse championship. And the reason being for that is just to mix it up a little bit. Give it means the faster drivers are going to have some work to do. So rather than qualifying in first and just disappearing off the road in every race, they've actually got to make some overtakes and make some cool moves. So, Kevin, reigning champion, of course, he's going to be favourite. He's got to be hands down favourite for taking the win. But that doesn't necessarily mean he will be. We'll find out because it is mixed up a little bit. Because you do have reverse grids and reverse championships and all that kind of thing, it means that he, particularly if he performed well today, is going to be one of those starting from the back in most races. So kind of like having a handicap of sorts. Everyone's going to spread out a little bit and try and find a little bit of room on the racetrack, try and find themselves some space and see what sort of lap times they can churn out. So Yellow Sausages is, it looks like he's the lead car, but he's not. I didn't really think we've lost Avalon Shadow from the room now. Is that because he's not feeling great? Because I know he was struggling with his health. Hopefully, it's not a terminal issue until the connection, and maybe he's just not feeling well. I know he was a strong one. So Yellow Sausages in the Supra. There is Forza in the Aston Martin. foobar in the Porsche Cayman. There is Nick John Baker, who's in the BMW, hasn't got out yet. He will be soon. Cool running in the Cayman. He's got Kevin Tuck right in behind him there on this outlap. Kevin, of course, in that Sylvia. Stormfly, he is in the Porsche Cayman. Aussie Rooster in the Aston Martin. I don't know, he's a fan of that car, to be fair. We've lost 2 from the ring now. So they will start from the, and Nick John Baker as well. I don't know if that's a connection issue or what's going on. But I think we'll just keep an eye on qualifying and wait and see if they come back or not. But you know, we had 15 minutes of practice time, so we're losing more and more. So maybe we're abandoning this this session. It looks like we might be abandoning the session because people are leaving willy-nilly. We're down to 10. I'll be right back when I find out what is going on. So apparently we have some lobby issues. Are we starting a new lobby with Patrick, or what's the situation? Bit annoying when this happens, isn't it? Bit annoying when this happens. We'll wait and see. We'll be back shortly with some more information. So having some problems with the lobby. New lobby started. We'll see if that has solved it. I don't know what the problem was. Obviously, I'm not privy to that conversation right now. So what can we talk about while we're waiting? Well, we've kind of gone over the format and what's going on. We'll talk about the calendar, shall we? Today is the calendar, so we're at Sardegna 8 in reverse. We have opted mostly for fictional tracks for this tournament, other than, of course, Road Atlanta being the new track on the calendar. But so yeah, Sardegna 8 reverse, Tokyo Express East clockwise will be next week. Deep Forest in reverse. We had that last time out in the GR4 lottery. It was a pretty darn good race, that one. Then we go to Dragon Trail Seaside, old staple favourite, that one. Bearing in mind that we do break for Christmas, so we're going to do Deep Forest Reverse will be the last one before Christmas. We're not going to race on Boxing Day, of course not. Hey, doing, TJ? How you doing? How comes you didn't sign up for this one then, my friend? Very surprised you didn't sign up for this. Bearing in mind that it was your idea in the first place that's developed into this shit show. No, I'm only joking, it's not a shit show. There are a couple of cars left if you want one, man. Andy. That's not how you spell my name, dude. That's not how you spell my name. Yeah, so as I said, 3 races up till Christmas. Deep Forest Reverse being the last of those. Then in the year we hit Dragon Trail Seaside, Kyoto Yamagiwa in reverse. Then as I was talking about, the special Stage X event, which is all about pure tuning speed. How much can you drag out of your car? That's what that's all about. Then back to the normal BIP again for All Safe Village, Road Atlanta, Blue Moon in Field B, Troll Mountain in reverse, and then St. Croix C in reverse as the final track. So we're all going back, or everyone's going back in Jamagawi. You sure it's a ja or not a ya? Because it's not Japanese, is it? Who knows? So we've got all 16 in the room. How well is the lobby going to hold up? That's the problem. Is everyone able to get out? Just checking. I think the settings right. I'm not watching the Brazil game. What's the score? That's a bit weird. We've got a random sunshine in the middle of the random weather. Don't know where that came from. All the settings are as expected, I think. So we're just waiting for qualifying to start. We were due to start about 20 minutes ago, but there was a little issue with the lobby. Brilliant. Well, to be fair, they are playing South Korea. It's not exactly a difficult match for Brazil, is it? I think anyone that expected Korea to get through at this stage was anyone that put their money on it certainly would have lost their money. I think while we're waiting for them to start, I will be right back. I'm going to go and get a fresh drink. still not started qualifying, as you can see. There we go. Perfect timing. Hopefully now, touch wood, everything's good and we can get cracking. And I'll jump in when qualifying begins. I think we can't really look past Kevin for chucking in the big times. He usually does. I don't know if they're going to shorten the qualifying for this purpose. I think it's going to be a lot closer, certainly with the new cars. It's going to be a lot closer in terms of pace and stuff. All the cars are much more similar. They're all rear-wheel drive cars. Only one mid-engine, which is the Cayman, of course. The rest are all front-engine cars, so going to be very similar in pace. It's all about, tweaking your ride heights and your aero and stuff, depending on the track, of course. Like for instance, here you're going to need a little bit of aero for these fast corners. Avalon's facing the wrong way in that BMW. Not a great start from him. But when we go somewhere like Tokyo, for instance, where it's all about straight line speeds, you're going to be dropping off some of that aero and giving yourself the best possible. I probably should remove that background, shouldn't I? Give you the best possible opportunity for straight line speed, of course. But there's some good opportunities here for overtaking. It's quite a wide track, and there's a lot of fast corners and a lot of opportunity for slipstream on these quite long straights, isn't it? The straights are long. There's one very long straight, but the other straight sections of track, they've got little kinks in them and stuff, and it will make for interesting driving. So everyone bar Tom out on track. We'll see what sort of times get chucked out, and all on the first out lap getting it done. To be fair, we did rush this tournament out. Kind of even rushed it out. One because Jay obviously wanted to compete in a few races, which he wouldn't have had the opportunity to do later on in the season. But also because everyone wants to race, and it seems silly to have a spare Monday night and not get this underway. But welcome to all the new drivers we've got in here. We've got some new faces racing today. Where is he? We've got Forza. He's new. He joined us recently. He's joined us for this GR4, and hopefully he'll join us for a few other races as well. It's good to see Ranger joining us, and although that Aston Martin doesn't belong in the wall there at all. Now there have been some reported lobby issues since the last update, and it's been a bit up and down. There's been some really consistent lobbies without problems. There's been some with huge amounts of problems. Now I don't know what the answer is. I mean, obviously people need to make sure that their cache is clear. They've got a nice, strong, stable connection, and all the temporary files and things like that. But I think PD do need to take some responsibility and really drill down and find out what it is that makes a perfect lobby, and let us know if there's something that we need to do as competitors to make the lobby more stable, to make sure that everybody has a good experience. Then this is something they should be letting us know, and if it's something they need to fix it there, then they should fix it. Yeah, sorry about that, Phil. Thanks for joining us, man. It would have been quite good if we'd had 20, maybe 25 people wanted to do it. We could have run 2 lobbies, and but it's strange because we all throughout the season we've had sort of 7s and 8s and then like 10, 11s, and this new season just seems to have been really popular, and we've had a massive influx of people, and everyone wanted to get involved. But I think everyone will get an opportunity, and because you can't race, we'll play one of your points tokens. So everyone gets 2 tokens to guarantee them 10 points for races they miss. So we'll whack one of yours on for this race if you want to, and that'll at least keep you in the points for now. So fastest lap so far is from Kevin. That's a 48.3 from him, and not a bad lap at all. Cool Runnings with a 49.5 will be on the front row alongside him at that current pace. Fubar 49.6. Just over 100th of a second difference between Cool Runnings and Fubar. Wiggy 4 tenths behind in the Sylvia at 150.0. People still getting used to the track. A lot of people have driven this track with any sort of impetus, so it's all about learning this track as well. So it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some people that have driven it more than others. Certainly not in the reverse format, of course. But yeah, I think a few laps around here, you'll start to pick it up. It's not a super complex track, I don't think. I'm saying that, but then I wasn't going around here anywhere near. I think my best time was at 1:59, I think. But then I only did about 5 laps. So there is Wiggy. He is a couple of tenths behind Ranger, 5th place at the moment. Aussie 150.4, and we've got Forza with a 151.1. 2 of the High Pro drivers joining us. Couple of tenths behind Yellow Sausages in the Supra, and apologies, Chris, I didn't do your livery, and I should have done. I know you needed one, and just to be fair, I've been quite busy today. Didn't get a chance to do the edit the track video. Bandit running in 9th at the moment, 153.9 in that BMW. Nick John Baker also in the BMW with a 54.8. Old Man Jay, 57.8 in that Cayman. Just coming to try to get to grips with that car. Avalon hasn't been able to string a lap together yet in the BMW. That's a 211.2. Manx in the GR Supra, 207.5. So a bad lap from him. Damage is on light, so you will have to drive a little bit this lap with a little bit of damage if it comes up, but it will repair itself, of course. Average Tom hasn't set a hot lap yet. He has now. That was a 52.1. Puts him 10th fastest in the BMW. Now we have got quite, as I said earlier, we've got quite a range of tracks here throughout the season, and different cars are going to have different strengths throughout the season on different tracks. And also with the advent of the reverse grids and reverse championship starting orders, it really is going to mix things up, particularly on the tracks where it is difficult to overtake. It's going to be the faster guys are going to find it very, very hard to make their way through the field. It is only half an hour of racing. 2 compounds are going to be used in every race, so I think we might see 1 or 2 upsets. But there is the current reigning champion, fastest man out there at the minute with a 148.0. He's in that Sylvia, and I think we'll do an onboard with him when he crosses that start finish line, shall we? Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Yeah, let's do an onboard with him now, because we're not far off the start finish line here, are we? He's trying to remember this track the other way around. So this is your start finish line. You want to go right over to that. Okay. Ignore him. Let's go with Cool Runnings. We're on board with him now. So you come up the road, King's Run. It's a little lift here just to get round that corner, staying on the power. Over to that left-hand side, get on the brakes, turn in, down to 2nd gear, get that rotation. You lay apex there and get on the power a little bit later than you think, because the corner doesn't really open out much, and you've got a little blast down the road here. This is just a little lift just to get it through. If you can keep it on the road, which he almost does, you literally power through these twisty turns. Little drop down to 4th just to get down there, and then you're on the brakes almost straight away down to 2nd for that right-hander. Then you've got another long straight with a couple of little kinks in it. First you've got this little kink to the right, then you've got a kink to the left-hand side, but they are fully flat out. Shouldn't have a problem at all. And then you come up, you've got this left-hander here, which is a very strange kind of, right-hander, which is a very strange kind of corner, because you don't really change that much at all. You really just kind of feather the throttle through there so you can get back on the power again from 3rd up to 4th. Big braking zone here, really big braking zone here. This is definitely a 2nd or 3rd, well, depends on kind of tyres you're on, 2nd or 1st gear. Nearly losing it there, Cool Runnings. Does keep the car on the road though. And back on the power through that penalty line. Not a huge penalty loss here because of where that is. You're not really up to maximum speed, so you're not losing too much time if you do pick up a penalty. But also, it's not one of those tracks where it's easy to pick up a penalty. There's a spin there from Yellow Sausages, and that is not going to improve his lap time. It's facing the wrong way round there. So there is a lap essentially around Sardegna in reverse. But pole is with Kevin, of course it is. We wouldn't have any other way, would we? 148.0 from him. Wiggy has put himself on the front row with him. That's a 49.4, so two have gone sub 150. Stormfly, he's going to put another lap in. He's only 300 slower than Wiggy at the moment, so he will look to try and improve that in that Porsche Cayman. Cool Runnings just 200 seconds slower with a 49.5. So we're starting to see the times already dropping down. Fubar, another good performance with 49.6. He hasn't been able to replicate that, but is showing good pace yet again, Fubar. And he isn't even in the WRX this time, so yeah, looking forward to seeing what sort of time he can set. Aussie Rooster, he's done a 49.6. So good selection of cars doing very similar times actually, because we preclude Kevin because he's 1.4 seconds faster than everybody else. But you've got Wiggy running the Sylvia, then Stormfly in the Cayman, then Cool Runnings in the Cayman, then you've got Fubar in, he's in the Cayman as well, so the Cayman's all very similar. Then you've got Aussie though, he's in the Aston Martin running similar times. We've got Ranger in the Aston Martin. He has put himself 7th. He's done a 49.8, so he's sub 150. Yellow Sausages in the Supra hasn't yet got a lap dialed in below 150. He's done a 150.1. Manx also in that Supra, 150.4. Forza from High Pre, he's in the Aston Martin. He's done a 150 something. Can't see his time there. New record for Wiggy. Improves his time, not enough to catch Kevin, but does improve his time a little bit. Average Tom, 152.1 from him in the BMW. Avalon Shadow also in the BMW. Not sure if he's happy with his time, but he's been sick, so that will obviously play into things a little bit. Nick John Baker in the BMW also, he's just setting another time now. Bandit also in that BMW, just putting some fuel on board to continue lapping. New lap record from Kevin, 47.6 from him. Old Man Jay in the Cayman's done a 55.8, has been his quickest lap, so just needs to start dialing that car in a little bit. But it is, as I said, it's a very new track to most people out there, so it's massive learning curve at the moment, massive learning curve. But we've got about 3 minutes left, so enough for a couple of laps before we can get underway. We are starting a little bit later than planned. A couple of lobby issues and some teething problems, as you ordinarily get with race number 1. But we should be there or thereabouts. The good thing is, obviously, we don't need to do another qualifying session for the rest of the season, essentially. For the rest of the season. The way it'll work is we'll do this race, and then after this race, it'll be a reverse grid from the results from this first race. Then next week we'll look at the championship. It'll be reverse championship order. So that will mean that anybody that hasn't raced yet and is on lower points will start near the front of the grid. The reverse championship order, however, is not. If you've used a token, that's not going to count towards your positioning there. That's just purely to give you some juicy points. It will only count for points gained from actual racing. Just to clarify that, in case anyone was wondering. So I'm J 54.7 does improve his time a little bit. Still got some work to do though. He's got Bandit in front of him in that BMW. Anyone saw the Mind event on Saturday, which of course we've got another one coming up this week, which will be at I forgot where it is. Where are we? We're at Daytona this week. Daytona in the GR3s. Yeah, that's coming up this week. GR3s is Daytona this week for the Mind event. Jay had a really good performance in the last one, finished comfortably mid-table. So everyone's got one more lap. If you're on the track, you've got a lap to put in. Kevin's fastest man out at the moment with a 47.6, so he will start out on pole. And what a way to defend your championship by starting race number 1 of season 2 in pole position. Wiggy in the pits now. I think he's happy with his second on the grid. Cool Runnings putting a really good performance in that Porsche Cayman. Put himself on the second row with Stormfly in the same car just behind him. So that's an interesting turn of events. Then we've got row 3 will be FeR. Old Man Jay, that's a really good time. Remember that drop, we'll bump it up a little bit. FeR, row 3 with Aussie Rooster for company. Ranger with Yellow Sausages for company on row 4. Row 5 will be Manxman with Forza. Forza's teammate Average Tom will head up row 6 with Old Man Jay, just put himself there alongside him. Then we've got row 7, which will be Avalon and Nick John Baker. At the moment, Bandit bringing up the rear in the BMW. So 3 BMWs at the moment, not setting huge blistering times. Well, I say that, there's one there in 11th. So they are towards the back of the field, but maybe this track doesn't suit the BMWs too much. But there are tracks that are really going to suit that M4. And once people can, obviously, you've got to tweak your ride heights and that kind of thing. Then, because BOP's on TJ, it's not that big. The BOP kind of equalises these cars, they're all rear-wheel drive, but the tracks specifically will favour different cars throughout the season. So some cars will perform better at different tracks. Sorry to hear that, man. I mean, you're not lagging too badly on my screen, to be fair. Well, I haven't seen you're on track now. I've seen a little bit of lag from a couple of people, but not too much. Are you hardwired in, Bandit? Do you actually you plugged into it, or is it Wi-Fi you're running on? So that is pretty much it. It's the final lap of qualifying. Anyone that's out there needs to set this lap, get it done, into the pits, and we will be underway. But yeah, so sorry, back to what I was saying about the tracks. There's if you look at the different tracks, I mean, some are suited to some cars better than others. But I think over the course of the season, I think there's enough variety within the tracks to benefit different cars in different ways. Very weird that you're having this problem. Is it a regular occurrence, or is this just a today thing? PS5. Jay's hosting on his PS5. Patrick's not well, is he? So wasn't really up to it. And to be fair, I haven't really experienced any problems with Jay as host, to be fair. I can't explain it. I mean, I know there's been reports of more problems since the last update, the 1.26 update. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, we didn't experience any problems last Saturday, and Jay was host there as well. I don't know. The thing is, I think it is really important, and I think I've stressed this before, to make sure that all temporary files are deleted from your PlayStation, that you're hardwired in, you've deleted all your temporary files, you've cleared the cache, and it is running as smooth. He serves cookies. It runs as smooth as possible. But there we go. So qualifying done and dusted. There's your lineup. Let's run through the final lineup then for the race. It is Kevin and Ranger on the front row. Good lap from him, chucking that in, chucking that advantage up there. Lastminute.com. Wigging Cool Runnings on row 2. Stormfly and FeR will be on row 3. Row 4 will be Aussie and Yellow Sausages. Row 3, row 4 even. Row 5, Manx in the Supra, and Forza in the Vantage on row 5. Row 6 will be Average Tom and Old Man Jay. Row 7 will be Avalon and Nick John Baker, with Bandit, who struggled a little bit with his lag, and hasn't been able to set a great time. But there's still plenty of racing to be getting on with. So just waiting for Jay to get the race started, and then we will get cracking and cracking and cracking. Looking forward to this. I think it's going to be a good race, and particularly looking forward to the reverse grid scenario, which reverse grid obviously will be in a rolling start, not a grid start. So it's grid start for the first race, rolling start for the second, just to mix things up a little bit. The point of the rolling start obviously is to give the guys out in front a little bit of a gap before they are beaten down by the quicker guys behind. So good luck to everyone. Season 2 of the GR4 lottery is underway. At least it will be. So countdown will begin. Just waiting for the lights to go on. I think it's going to be difficult to look past Kevin for race number 1. We'll have to see where we fit in later on. We have to do this, of course, and then jump back in again. And they are away. Everyone looks to be away clean. No one stalled on the line by the looks of things. So it's Kevin leading from Wiggy. Wiggy makes a jump up into second place, getting past Ranger into second place. Although Ranger, Wiggy just a little bit wide. They clips the wall, knocks him way down the order. So down to 9th place, 10th place, slipping down. He lost a lot of momentum there, down to 11th, just clipping the wall through there. So Ranger in second. We've got Fubar up to 3rd place. Tell you what, he's been knocking on the door of a podium for a few races now, as Fubar, and missed out at the weekend in the Mind event. It's one of those things. You do a race strategy. You do what feels right at the time, but hindsight, he probably could have nicked 3rd there. But he's in 3rd at the moment, and at the moment looking pretty good for it. Cool Runnings running in 4th place. Then we've got Forza up to 5th place. Good move forward from Forza. And he's making a move on, sort of trying to make a move on Stormfly. They're side by side here. Lap 1 at Sardegna in reverse. Sardegna A in reverse. Aussie Rooster in the Aston Martin running in 7th place. He's just ahead of Yellow Sausages in that Supra. He was ahead of Yellow Sausages. Now he's ahead of Average Tom, who's made that little move up the inside, little dart up the inside of Yellow Sausages, up to 8th place. Nick John Baker 1 second back in the BMW. He is just under a second behind Yellow Sausages, vying for a place maybe further up. Wiggy, that's where he's ended up. He's ended up in 11th place. Clipped the wall straight away from the line. And gave himself a bit of work to do back there now in 11th. Banksman in 12th in the Supra. He's got Old Man Jay just behind him in that Porsche Cayman. Avalon Shadow in 14th in the BMW. And Bandit in the other BMW in 15th place. Lap 2 begins. Kevin has already pulled out a 2.1 second lead. And demonstrating why he is the reigning GR4 lottery champion. Currently running in 1st place, 2.5 seconds clear. Ranger sticking with him as much as he possibly can, trying to open up a gap from Fubar in 3rd. It's 1.9 seconds is the current gap from Fubar Philantis, and Fubar is running 3rd. He's half a second up from Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings hanging on the back of him. They're both in the same car here, so the performance is going to be very similar. It's going to be about consistency from this point forward, I think. And we have actually got a little bit of a train of Caymans. So we've got the Cayman of Fubar, we've got the Cayman of Cool Runnings just behind him, and then the Cayman of Stormfly in 5th place, and he's a second back from that battle for 3rd. Of the new drivers, we've got Hypre Forza joining us for his first race with us. He is up to 6th in the Aston Martin, 1.6 seconds behind that battle for 3rd, and looks to be sticking with Stormfly as well, so plenty to be getting on with there. Remember, this is a 30-minute race, about 2 minutes lap, so we're looking at somewhere around 14 to 15 laps there. Aussie Rooster, he's running in 7th, also in the Aston Martin. Rear wheel drive beast of a car, massive engine in that thing. It's a beast. 1.2 seconds back is the lead BMW of Average Tom, running in 8th place, and he is just under. I was going to say just. He's not just anything. He's Yellow Sausages has got ahead of him. He's made that move in that Supra up to 8th place, but now he's got Wiggy bearing down all over the back of him, looking to make some sort of move. Can he make it happen? He's got past the wall he clipped last time, hasn't touched it this time, but he's just dropping off. The question is, has anybody opted to go on the medium tyres? Yes, they have. So Kevin has started on the soft compound tyres, Ranger on the medium, so actually he is losing time to Kevin, 4.3 seconds back, but he's running the medium tyre. Better lag from Ranger there, actually. It's quite bad lag from Ranger. But he is running those medium compound tyres, so getting those out of the way early so he can switch out to the softs. FeR running the soft tyres, Cool Runnings also running the softs, Stormfly of course is as well as his Forza. Aussie Rooster also running the mediums, so a couple of the Aston Martin drivers opting to start on medium compound tyres and get that that option tyre out of the way. 1.7 seconds back he is from Forza. Yellow Sausage is also starting on the medium tyres, which goes some way to explain why his pace seems to be a little bit off. As Average Tom dives that BMW back up in front, and Wiggy makes the move as well on Yellow Sausages up into 9th place. But Wiggy running the soft compound tyre. Remember, he clipped the wall early on, which knocked him way down the order. He was in the top 3 until that stage. Nick John Baker started on these soft tyres in the BMW. He's got Avalon crawling all over the back of him. There's 2 BMWs fighting it out there. This is the view from the back of the car of Nick John Baker. And Avalon just looking for a way through, and he's desperately trying to find some way to get that BMW in front of Nick John Baker's BMW and give himself some clear air to be racing in. But he looks to be a little bit quicker. He's got the slipstream there. He's going to pull out of that slipstream. Is he going to make the move before they get into the next turn? And he does make that move. So Avalon's up to 11th place. Bit of clear air now. He's able to pull away and start getting on the power up towards Yellow Sausages. So Nick John Baker on those soft compound tyres. Old Man Jay running on the medium tyres. I think that's the wise choice for starting. And there's a spin there from Bandit, just clipping that. You can see that little outcrop of a wall there when you come through, and if you just a little bit wide coming through and you clip that. As you can see, significant damage to Bandit's car. He's going to be going pretty slowly while that repairs itself, and he's not going to be able to even change gear, I wouldn't have thought at this stage. So really cost him some time. Really big hit that was. Nothing you can do. Just have to wait for the car to repair itself, and it has now done that. He can now start to get up to speed, but that's cost him an awful lot of time. It's 13 seconds back from Manx, who is running in that Supra in 14th place. He's also opted for those medium compound tyres, so that will come to fruition later in the race for him. Kevin still in the lead, 5 seconds clear now, but as you can see, he opted for the soft compound tyres. He will still need to use that medium option at some stage in this race. Now, we've done, four laps so far, probably another 4 laps. Lap 8 will be about pit window. It's about midway point is the pit window here. I think we're there or thereabouts in terms. And that's the outcrop I was talking about. You can see when they come through there. As you come round that right-hander, the car does drift out. That left-hander, the car does drift out to that right-hand side, and if you're not careful, you catch that little outcrop. As you can see, what happened to Bandit, it really can cause you problems. Ranger still in 2nd place, 6.4 seconds is the gap now. But remember, he's on those medium tyres, so he's going to be quicker in the 2nd stint on those soft tyres. He has FeR for company, he has Cool Runnings for company, he has Stormfly for company. They're all there or thereabouts vying for that 3rd place, but all of them still need to go on the medium compound, slower medium compound tyre, should I add. Forza up to 6th place. He's getting some good performance out of that Aston Martin, but he's on again the soft tyres. His pit window is probably going to open a little bit sooner, so it's very different in terms of fuel saving for some of these guys. I mean, Kevin looking after his fuel very well, as is Ranger. But if we look at like FeR, for instance, and Cool Runnings and Stormfly in the Cayman, their fuel consumption a little bit higher. So the question's going to be whether they they should be able to do a full race. Essentially, if you can make it to 10 minutes on half a tank, then a full tank will take you to 30 minutes. The settings have been kind of designed for one-stop strategy. That's the way we want to do it. We don't want people stopping 5 or 6 times. Of course, when GMAC races, we know he will stop 8 times because that's what GMAC does. GMAC loves it in the pits. It's his favourite place to be. He loves it more than he likes on the racetrack. So 5 seconds back to Forza. Aussie Rooster is on the medium tyres. He is 1.9 seconds back in 7th place. He's got Wiggy all over the back of him. I'm going to have a look at the B. It's not too bad actually. Oh, it is quite awful actually. Yes, Yellow Sausage is 3 seconds back now from Wiggy, but he's running the medium tyres, so he's going to go a little bit longer. And again, nearly catching that outcrop that I was talking about. That looks like that is going to take a few people by surprise. There was a brief yellow flag there. I don't know who that was for, but Aussie Rooster is all over the back of Wiggy now. So did Aussie Rooster lose out a position or two? Or did one of these guys have a problem? But that's a 3-way battle right there for 6th place. Only one of those on the medium tyres though. So Aussie looking good there on those mediums. Bearing in mind that he's going to be running the soft compound tyres later on. Nick John Baker in that BMW pit window. Coming in now is perfect. You know, all of these cars can one-stop this race. You know, you will have to look after your fuel. I mean, everyone's got to do that in every race anyway. Tyres certainly will hold out without a problem. It's the way the race has been designed. Half a tank is plenty to get you to the 1/3 distance, the magic 1/3 distance. Avalon Shadow, he got himself past, he was briefly past Nick John Baker, but he's back behind him again. He's in 11th place. He is going to pit probably the end of this lap and put on the medium compound tyres. Now, I think, for me, I think if you're running longer and you know those soft tyres can take you probably to the end of the race, you've got to be much better off starting on the medium tyres and getting that compound out of the way. Strange choice actually for those running on those on the hards, particularly at the back of the pack running on the soft tyres. That they didn't want to get those harder tyres out of the way early doors. So Forza into the pits for his first pit stop. He's going to get rid of those soft tyres and puts on a set of mediums. So far, Average Tom has pit. He is going to should be able to run to the end of this race on those medium tyres. Bandit with some damage. He has gone in. He's pit and he's going to go to the end of this race now on the medium tyres also. Although it looks to me he's under-fueled a little bit for this. But there's certainly some lap time in there for him. And he's done a 1:56.0, but the lag seems to be causing me a little bit of problem. The only person I've really seen that's really been lagging for me actually has been Ranger. And we can see there he's now under some pressure from Stallfly. Stallfly's got himself up into 3rd. He's starting to push. He makes the move on Ranger. He is through, but remember Ranger is on those medium compound tyres. So pit window is firmly open. I said lap 7, lap 8, didn't I? So here we go. Actually, I said lap 8, but lap 7 it is. So Kevin will come into the pits this lap, as will Stormfly, as will Ranger. Ranger will be switching to those soft compound tyres. Fubar also coming in this lap. Wiggy, I think Wiggy's going to stay out. Wiggy's looked after his team really well. He's going to stay out and do another lap, and he's going to make it to the halfway point, which if he can do that with that fuel, then he is in a really, really good position because he can put a little bit less fuel on and run to the end. Aussie Rooster, I think he's going to have to pit this lap. It's looking pretty... well, yeah, maybe he can go an extra lap on the Aston Martin. I mean, that would be suitable for if him and Wiggy can. Well, we know Wiggy can, but if he can hold on for another lap, and it looks like he is, he's staying out. So Ranger stays out for another lap. That is brave, very brave. That fuel is not looking great, but it gives him a bit of impetus. Like that lag is awful, absolutely awful. Just watching him makes me feel seasick. Wiggy in 2nd place, he stays out. Aussie Rooster stays out. Wiggy's doing well okay for fuel, doesn't really have to drop off the pace too much in that Sylvia. So we have got Aston Martin leads from Sylvia from another Aston Martin. Then Yellow Sausages in the GR Supra running the medium tyres. He's going another lap, lap 8. So it will be midway point for these guys. Kevin pitted end of lap 7. He's going to run to the end of the race on those medium compound tyres. Stormfly, he's already been in. Has he under-fueled a little bit? I don't think he is. I think he'll be all right. He almost made it all the way on those tyres. So, yeah, so that's about right. I think. So here's the thing. If we start on a full tank of fuel, no one's needing to pit for fuel. They just need to pit for tyres. So I think we're all right to start on half a tank. It makes the cars a little bit faster as well. So he is out in 6th place. He has already been in. Front 4 still to pit. Old Man Jay, he is still to pit as well. No worries, Bandit. Yeah, you were. I mean, you weren't too laggy on my screen. And actually, to be fair, Ranger was probably the worst, but I did see a little bit from you. Maybe have a look at clearing the temporary files and stuff and see if there's something going on, or find out if people in your house are just streaming too much porn. Maybe. Bit of drifting there from Old Man Jay, just sliding that Cayman round, but currently running very comfortably midfield at the moment in 7th. He does need to pit, of course, but he will be on the softer tyres coming through, and a 152.4 from him on those medium tyres just goes to show that he's not backing off the pace at all. So front 4 all into the pits. Wiggy, Aussie Rooster, Ranger and Yellow Sausages. Kevin will go back through and take the lead of this race. Manxman, he's also running to this midway point. He will come in, swap out those medium tyres for a set of softs. Fubar comes back out in 9th place. He's got a few people in front of him who need to pit, so the order will right itself soon. As we just see Old Man Jay just jumping in there. Forza's been in. He's now on those medium tyres, going to run to the end of the race in that Aston Martin. Average Tom behind him in the BMW, also going to run to the end. Yeah, it might not necessarily. We're not going to do it for charity all the time, but I think the plan, TJ, is to have a permanent big endurance series like that, kind of long endurance series. I haven't really worked on the details yet. Once I'm sort of chilled out for Christmas, I'll get some stuff down and we'll come up with some plans. Cool Runnings is running in 10th place now. Started out really well, was up amongst it in the early stages. He's now in 10th place. He has been in the pits, so he's lost a few places after pitting. Well over fueled, I think. If you bear in mind, you start on half a tank of fuel. He is well over fueled for the end of this race. That's going to cost him time in terms of weight of fuel, but also time that he was in the pits as well. So that's why he's dropped down to 10th place. 2.7 seconds back to the BMW of Nick John Baker. He will run to the end of this race. Plenty of fuel on board there to get him through. Avalon Shadow, he is chasing him down and trying to close that gap. Gap is 2 seconds. He's running at the moment on the medium tyres, of course, and he has been in the pits. So his fastest lap was a 1:50.9 on the soft tyres. So Old Man Jay did a 52.4 was his fastest lap. That was his last quick lap before he went into the pits. He's now on the soft compound tyres and running to the end of his race and got plenty of fuel to do that with as well. He's got Manxman just behind him in 14th place. He will run to the end of the race as well. He's done a 51.8 was his fastest lap on those soft tyres. It's going to take, obviously people are going to get used to their new cars and see how they feel about them further down the line. We have lost Bandit. Bandit was struggling with lag spikes. He's going to try and sort that out and come back to us. Yeah, we're trying to, we're playing with stuff at the minute. And the thing with the Friday series is that quite a few guys that do the BCGT stuff, so I'm trying to, I'm coming up with some, yeah, basically, yeah, that's it. So new year, same bell end, exactly. Nothing will change, mate. There's your lead. He's 14.6 seconds clear. So clearly has his pedal to the metal and knows what he's doing. 1:48.6 is his fastest lap, and he came out the pits. He went into the pits actually on lap 7, so a lap earlier than everybody else. But he's going to run those mediums to the end. But he's still doing low 49s on the medium compound tyre. Ranger comes back out in second, still lagging all over the place, but 14.8 seconds off the lead, 1.3 ahead of Stormfly, who's just serving a penalty, so that gap will open up a little bit. But you can see it's not a devastatingly bad penalty here. It's cost him about a second, but he'll be able to make that gap up in no time, I'm sure. There he is in that Porsche Cayman. So it is Sylvia from Aston Martin from Cayman. It looks like the BMWs are running a little bit further back, but they received the votes, so they it does. It's a gorgeous sounding car, isn't it? To be fair, it's my favourite out of the 5 cars. It's the best looking one for me. I love the look of it as well. But Jez just sounds awesome. So let's turn it up, listen to it at full pelt, shall we? It just sounds so good, doesn't it? Just so good. Proper racing car sound. Wiggy running in 4th place, just outside the top 3. I'm sure he's pleased about that. Season 1 of GR4 didn't go so well for him. He had a couple of dodgy cars. I think he has fallen back in love with the Attention again, though. But currently running in 4th, he's 10.5 seconds behind Stormfly. So the front 3 really pulling away at the moment. Aussie Rooster in the Aston Martin. He's 1.7 behind. He's on the soft compound tyres. Is he going to be able to close up on Wiggy? Wiggy, remember, had a really bad start. Cost himself loads and loads of time, which is why it probably cost him a place in the top 3. Just catching that little bit of wall that kind of juts out. And if we see it come on, I'll show you again. We'll go through it. But yes. Aussie Rooster running in 5th. He's got Yellow Sausages 1.7 seconds behind him in that GR Supra. Just trying to close up that gap. He is now on those soft tyres. He's just done a 1:50.2, which is his fastest lap of the race. And so the lap time's starting to come down now. Range has gone sub 150, which we would expect on the soft tyres. So Fumar in 7th. He was just outside the top 3 early doors. Currently running in 7th place. He's now on the medium tyres. But we've got about 9 minutes left in this race. We're on lap 12. We expect to have another 4 laps, I reckon. Takes to lap, I'd say 15, 16. Definitely 3, possibly 4 laps. Forza and Tom, teammates from Hyper, of course, have been running very closely together. Forza 15 seconds back from Fubar in 8th place, and his teammates, average Tommy, is 9 seconds back in the BMW. No complaints about that car, Tom. You picked it, buddy. You picked it. Cool Runnings is 1 second behind Tom. Really overfueled that car in the pit stop, paying the price by being much further down. He was running with those front runners and looking good for top 3. It's going all right, mate. It's going all right. All these guys have 1 stop. The BMW's not doing too badly, and yeah, no, it's all right, buddy. Did you get a BMW? I can't remember. Average Tom makes a mistake. Cool Runnings through up into 9th place, just trying to negate those the self-inflicted issues by the overfueling in the pit stop, and try and gain a few more places, getting closer to the front. Nick John Baker also in the M4 BMW, 7.1 seconds back. Now on the medium tyres, of course, which is going to be slowing him down a little bit. Best lap there for 53.2. Old Man Jay, he started on the medium tyres. His best lap so far actually was on the mediums with a 1:52.4. Not able to increase the pace too much. Oh, you got the Supra, yeah. It's not doing too badly at the minute. It seems to be a pretty decent car. The Aston's the one that surprised me. I thought the Aston would be slower. No, Paul, don't worry, mate. I didn't even notice, to be fair, because I didn't have time to edit it. I just ran out of time today with kids and dinner and all the other bits and pieces. I literally ran out of time to even edit the video, so I didn't even notice it was. Don't worry. I probably told you they're on track, to be fair, more than anything. So Old Man Jay is running in 12th. He's 1:52.4 is his fastest lap. He's looking to improve on that. He has muchly improved. No, he hasn't. Oh, did he? No, he didn't. 52.7. So he has got more pace in there. It's can he find it on those soft tyres? It does avoid that little outcrop, though, which has been picked up quite a few people in the race today. Manx in the Supra running in 13th place. 51.8 is his fastest lap. He's now on those soft tyres. And it's funny, actually, because it seems that some of these tail enders have actually put their best lap times in on medium tyres rather than softs. and can't seem to find the pace on the soft tyres. 54.2 for mags on the softs compared to a 51.8 on the mediums. Who would have thought you'd get more grip out the medium tyres? Avalon is struggling with illness today, so I'm not surprised he is struggling on the back, but it's a long competition. Plenty of racing to be done. Remember, he didn't do too well in the first race of season 1 and ended up second in the championship. So he has he's had 2 bad laps, so it looks like he's crashed a couple of times, which doesn't help. But he's running in 14th place. We've lost Bandit to severe connection issues. So Phil, if you're watching and you want to jump in, mate, we've lost Bandits. You can jump in for race number 2 and pick yourself up some points. Kevin 77 is the lead at 19.4 seconds, 19.6 seconds clear. If there was, it's tell everybody you're the reigning champion without telling everybody you're the reigning champion. Okay, I'll finish 19 seconds ahead of everybody. There is Ranger. He is running in 2nd place. He's under some pressure from Stormfly, but he's got the benefit of some crazy ass lag for a start and some soft compound tyres. He started the race on the medium tyres and gave himself the best possible chance with the softs. But again, look, I mean, his fastest lap was on the medium tyres, a 1:49.7. On the softs, he hasn't been able to recreate that pace. Very, very strange set of circumstances. Stormfly, his fastest lap was way back on the softs. But the pace is very, very similar. Did a 49.6 on the last lap he did on the last full lap he did on the softs, and he's just done a 49.6 on the mediums. So not much pace differential for him. Good. Glad you are, mate. Glad you are, TJ. Wiggy running 4th. He's 14 seconds back, but there's a bit of a train going on there. It's Wiggy, Aussie Rooster, Yellow Sausages, all vying for that 4th place. Who is going to be just outside the top 3 and who is going to be in midfield obscurity? It is Sylvia, Aston Martin, GR Supra. So quite similar to out front. We've got the Sylvia out in front. We've got Aston Martin in 2nd. We've got a Cayman in 3rd. We've got the Sylvia there in 4th. We've got the Aston Martin in 5th. We have got the Supra in 6th place. Then we've got another Cayman there for Fubar running in 7th place. He also overfueled in his last pit stop, and it's cost him significant time. It's all about doing the math, you know. It's a half-hour race. If you've got to the halfway point and you've used that half a tank you started with, then just stick in just a bit more than you need and make sure you make it to the end. Forza running in 8th place. He has made up a couple of places on his teammate. His teammate has lost out to Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings up to 9th place. Forza running in 8th, but he's on those medium tyres, and Cool Runnings looking very racy. He's all over the back of him. Can he make the move though? That's the question. Just backing off there, but he's within a few tenths. As we're coming into this long straight, he's going to be tucked in that slipstream in that Cayman. Is he able to make the move around this Aston Martin and get himself up into 8th place? Another one that overfueled his car. Well, in fact, Ford's done the same thing. A lot of them have really overfueled their car for this in the second stint and cost themselves some potential places. It's only 5 litres a second refill, so all those extra litres of fuel have really cost you time. And Cool Runnings trying to make this move now. Can he make the move stick is the question. He can't get up and inside and make that move. This is the 10th round the outside here. They're going to go side by side through the penalty line. He's holding his line round the outside. Forza just defending. He doesn't want to leave anything open for Cool Runnings. They will round this final turn onto the start-finish straight, and a really, really good exit. A slingshot from Cool Runnings puts him up into 8th place. Really, really good overtake from him. But Forza sticking with him and not letting him get away. So he's tucked in behind on that slipstream and going to stick with him and make that battle continue. Average time 4.7 seconds back in the Beamer. Not a great track for the Beamer here, but there are tracks that will suit it better. Nick John Baker running in 11th place. He is 8 seconds back from Average Tom, and he's got Manxman 3.5 seconds behind him in that Supra. 51.0 for him on those soft tyres. He is starting to get some pace out of those soft compound tyres. Old Man Jay also has improved on the soft tyres with a 52.4, closing up on the back of Manxman. The gap is 1.7 seconds. No worries, Tom. Hope everything's all right, mate. Avalon running in 14th place. He's really struggled with this, with illness and what have you. And I think he spun across the line there expecting the race to finish. And it hasn't. He's got to do another lap. Oh no, it has. He has finished. So there we go. Race over. So Kevin makes it to lap 17. Ranger doesn't. Lap 16 for him. It is second for him. It is third for Stormflyer. Aussie Rooster has got himself ahead of Wiggy, and he's going to come home in 4th place. Is Yellow Sausage going to nick it from Wiggy? No, he doesn't. Aussie out of fuel. Aussie loses 4th place at the very, very dying depths. Wiggy through. Aussie Rooster in 5th. Yellow Sausage is not quite close enough, but does make it. Wiggy with a 3-second penalty. I think that was after, so no problem. Fubar in 7th place, overfueled car, loads of fuel left, so really overfueled and cost himself some time. Cool Running, similar scenario, cost himself some time. He's going to come home in 8th place. He's got Forza just behind him. He comes through, Forza through in 9th. Average Tom, he is coming through in 10th place. He unfortunately is going to have to leave us. He's had something come up, and he's going to have to leave. Nick John Baker tucked in behind him. Hoping he runs out of fuel. He doesn't. Nick John Baker comes home in 11th. Old Man Jay bringing that Cayman home in 12th place. Manxman in 13th. Avalon Shadow finishes 14th, of course. Kevin 77, 16.8 seconds clear. 17 laps he has managed. And well, no, because of the difference in it, he will. If he's running away with the championship, he's always going to start the first race in last place, isn't it? Because it's reverse championship grid. So it's going to make it harder for him, and he'll still probably win races, but it's not going to be quite so easy for him. But he comes home in 1st place, of course. There we go. So let's get a screenshot of that, and we'll move. Just double check we've got everybody else in the shots. And the High Prix Forza. So there we go. There is your full rundown. Kevin 77 from Ranger, from Stormflyer, then Wiggy. Aussie Rooster looked like he ran out of fuel or just lost something right at the end there. And Wiggy just breezing past him. Yellow Sausages thought he was going to make it, didn't quite. He ran out of fuel actually, so Yellow Sausages losing out right at the depths there in 6th. Fubar overfueled, cost himself a couple of places for me. As did Cool Runnings. I think the pair of them would have been mixing it in there with Wiggy, Yellow Sausages, maybe even Stormfly, but and Aussie, of course. But overfueled the car and just cost themselves too much time. Same with Forza as well. Forza also overfueling this car. Average Tom a little bit better with the fuel. He's going to have to leave us after this race, unfortunately. Nick John Baker. In 11th place, Old Man J 12th, 13th was Manxman, and 14th place for, yeah, starting on Inters, or making change to Winters at some stage. The thing is, it is random weather, so guaranteed at some point it's going to rain. But there's your winner from race number 1. And what would you expect? The reigning champion, Kevin 77, wins race number 1. So there we go. Second race will be reverse grid from race number 1, so essentially the other way around, but we've got the grid there, so easy enough to do. Be Avalon from Nick from Old Man J, Forza. I know Manxman was further back, wasn't he? So it's not quite perfect order. No, not quite perfect order. So yeah, we'll be back shortly with race number 2. I think everyone's going to go for a wee and a little break and all that. So see you back very shortly for reverse grid race number 2. Oh yeah, it was well overfueled though, wasn't it? To be fair, you weren't the only one. I think it was 4 of you, three of you way overfueled, and I think 4 of you just over-egged it a little bit. But yeah, to be fair, I think certainly you, Cool Runnings, and Fubar, all three of you would have been in that sort of mix for 4th, 5th, 6th within that battle. Had you just done a little bit better on the field. We have lost Avalon. We know he's sick, so it was going to be pretty obvious that we'd lose him, to be fair. He's been struggling all week, hasn't really raced much, didn't do the endurance race of the weekend either because he's not been very, very well. So Phil, if you are watching, jump in your car, buddy, and get involved. Anyone else that's been allocated a car wants to jump in, there is space for you to take up where people have left off. Because it's reverse grid, you will start from the back because you didn't race in race number 1. It wouldn't be fair to stick you out in front, of course. But back shortly. back in the room. So, good race that first race, not bad. BMW seemed to struggle a little bit, but we have got some great races coming up, and let's remind ourselves of the race calendar. So, yeah, of course, we're here, Sardegna A in reverse today. Little, just chucked it in the mix there, didn't we? Little new track for most. Tokyo Express East clockwise. That is going to be raw power. And it's going to be about how much downforce are you prepared to take off your car. Because BOP is on, you do have to do that after you have checked in. But it is about raw power in that particular event. You know, it's going to be slipstream. It's going to be taking off the aero. It's going to be letting your car do most of the work on the long straights there, and they maybe sacrificing a little bit of cornering speed. I think the BMW will be very, very good at Tokyo because it's got some good straight line speed, and once you scrub the aero off that as well, I think it'll be there or thereabouts. But I think that the whole idea was to have a good mix of tracks that every car will have its stronger tracks. I'll tell you where else it'd be really good: Special Stage Route X, because you can power your car up as high as you like, and you can get some serious speed out of that BMW when it's maxed out. So some big points there, and there's going to be some jokers and stuff that you can play at Special Route X to bump up your points total if you want to. A kind of gambling thing. We'll talk about it later anyway, but it's going to be you're going to be able to gamble some of your points in order to you be able to gamble some of your points in order to improve your score at Special Stage Route X. Road Atlanta as well. That's going to be an interesting race. That's a very it's very kind of it's like Brands Hatch meets IndyCar meets NASCAR really. It's like a wide Brands Hatch. So lots of twisting and turning there. So I think the cars that are going to be more suited to that are going to be the more agile vehicles. Just waiting for the grid to be set for race number 2. It will be reverse grid from the first race. So let me see if I can remember the order. It will be, we're down to 12. We've lost, so we lost Bandit early on. He was having some lag spikes, so he dropped out early on. We've lost Patrick. Patrick's not been feeling well, so I'm surprised actually he was racing. I thought he might get himself to bed with a hot lemon and a hot water bottle and try and get himself ready for the GR4 on Wednesday when he drives his beloved Porsche again. We also lost Average Tommy, had to disappear off to do something. So we start with a full lobby. We don't seem to be able to hold on to a full lobby at the moment. Don't know what we need to do. There's no point giving. Don't agree with bonus points for turning up. That's ridiculous. But maybe some sort of incentive to stay in the races. The points should be enough, shouldn't they? Just the fact you get to race should be enough. So the order will be, if I remember rightly, it should be. Would it be Nick John Baker, Old Man Jay? No, sorry, it'd be Manx. Manxman. Oh, I don't know. Manxman, Old Man Jay, Nick John Baker, then Forza. Yeah, I think so. Forza. Then it'll be Fubar, Cool Runnings. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. Yellow Sausages, Wiggy, Aussie Wiggy. Then we'll have Stormfly Ranger and Kevin. I think in that order. Yeah, boy. Gary, you playing your missed race token today, mate? You need to let me know for when I do the table update. You should get 10 points for not turning up. Or do you want to save it for later on in the season when you need them? It's up to you. Play it whenever you like. We've lost Star Group from the room as well. What is occurring? We're having more lobby problems. PD, sort your fucking shit out, you useless bunch of cunts. It's getting fucking ridiculous now. that we can't have stable lobbies in a game that's basically focused around online freaking racing. Who's out there putting some laps in? Let's have a look. Who's putting some laps in? Forza out there putting laps in. Manxman also putting some laps in. Ranger lagging his way around the track still. Aussie Rooster also chucking some laps in. Alright, cool. I'll make sure I play. I'm going to do yours. I'm going to do Phil's as well. And those tokens count for both race events, not just one of the two. That'd be ridiculous, wouldn't it? I've got to keep remembering to turn that off when I'm not in the lobby. So Forza Manxman, Rangers in the wrong place. He won't be starting there, of course. I think we're just waiting for Wiggy to come back, and then we'll be underway, I think. Oh, he's back. There he is. He's back in the room. So a few teething problems in race number one. We did rush this together, to be fair, to try and get it started. So bound to be one or two teething problems. Clear misunderstanding about the tuning, so I think we wouldn't be OP this time. Purely because the problem with the tuning thing is that the only way you can really do a proper tune series is if you're doing it with exactly the same cars. Good, because then you know everybody can tune the cars to the same maximum and minimum or whatever. When you've got different cars and you're trying to get them tuned to a certain level, you know, some people have to do a lot more work than others in order to reach that PP level. So I quite like the idea of having this balance of performance where you can just tweak things like your aerodynamics and your ride height and suspension and that kind of thing as well, which just gives you a little bit of way to play with the car, but without sacrificing too much in terms of you know, only being able to, for instance, use medium tyres because you've tuned it so much for power that you've got no PP left for tyres. I can't watch Art Ranger for too long. He is lagging so bad, man. I'm going to change his name from Ranger to the Epileptic Nightmare. 151.4 for Max Max. There is some pace in that Super for him. He's not super duper slow in that Super. He's got 151.4. That's on soft tyres. Forza 151.7 on medium tyres. That's a really good pace on that. Well, now everyone's done the race. They've got a much better idea of how much fuel they've got on in stint number 2. Because there was only 4, maybe 4 cars that just overfueled, and some 3 overfueled far too much. And Forza and that Stormfly, the Stormfly having a coming together there. A little bit unnecessary fisticuffs, really, on a practice lap. Don't really need to be quite that aggressive on a practice run, do we? Let's be fair. So we are just waiting for the grid to be set and race number 2 to begin. It's just awful, they're lagging it. And ART have actually stopped doing all of their races because of lag issues. I wonder if it's because of Ranger, because he's the only art or the ART runner, and he's lagging really bad. It's quite uncomfortable to watch. So what do you think? How easy is it going to be for Kevin to make his way through the field? I mean, it's not too difficult to overtake that, to be fair. There's quite a few overtaking opportunities, particularly with slipstream, but there's a few corners where you can quite easily dive up the inside. People are a little bit wide. Yeah, there's certainly overtaking opportunities. It's whether or not you can make those moves early and capitalise on it's the soft combat tires you have to capitalise on, because they're the ones that are going to give you the best traction out of the corner. So that's where you need to maximise your overtakes. Although I think the guys at the back who started on the medium compound tyres were looking much racier on the softs further down the line. But you've got to make sure you don't lose too much time when you start on those medium tyres, that you are relatively competitive with the rest of the field. And I don't quite know what we're waiting, what the long delay is, unless we're waiting for someone to come back, of course. Here we go. So grid is set. It is reverse grid order. It is Manxman, Old Man J on the front row, Nick, John Baker and Forza on row 2. Row 3, Cool Runnings and Fubar. Row 4 will be Yellow Sausages with Aussie Rooster. Row 5, Wiggy with Stormfly. And then row 6 will be Ranger with Kevin at the very back of the pack. We'll jump out very quickly, do that, and then we are back and underway. I thought we were going to do rolling start, but that's no problem. We'll do a good start. We'll get on with that. Nick, John Baker with a good start from him in that BMW, already challenging for first place here. Manxman stays ahead in that Supra. Nick, John Baker can't make the overtake, but he does tuck in second place. Who's made any big moves yet so far? Well, Forza is third. Cool Runnings in fourth. He's in third, as Forza and Cool Runnings having a little bit of a battle there, exchanging third and fourth between the two of them. But at the moment, it's Forza wins out in the Aston Martin, stays ahead of Cool Runnings in the Cayman. Fubar running in fifth place, also in that Cayman, with Aussie Rooster just behind him in the Aston Martin. And it's 3/10 between Fubar and Aussie, and 3/10 between Aussie and Stormfly. Stormfly is ahead of Wiggy already. Wiggy dropping back a little bit. He's running in 8th place. Where is Yellow Sausage really losing out? Kevin up to 9th already, trying to battle his way through. He's gone for the soft tyres. He's decided to try and capitalise on those and get his way through the order as quickly as possible. Pit window, remember, is around lap 7, lap 8, depending on your strategy, and or lap 9 if you are really brave. Midway point is the ideal place to pit. Ranger up to 10th place, has gained a couple of places. As we see, who's that dropping down the order there? Kevin moving up to 7th place. There's a double overtake there. Wiggy are coming together with someone. He is off the racetrack. Does get it back running, but he's back in 11th place. Was there a coming together with somebody there? Who caught him? And do we have to look at that from a steward's perspective? Old Man Jay getting ahead of him, but moving way down the order from the start. Didn't get away from the line well at all, and finds himself back in 11th place already. Not a good start from Old Man Jay. Couldn't get that Cayman buzzing off the line. Manxman has opened up the gap, 2.8 seconds out in the lead on those racing soft tyres. This is what you need to do, particularly if you were running around the back, is to get that gap opened up as quickly as you possibly can. We are on lap 2 here at Sardegna A reverse. We're on the reverse grid from race number 1 with Manxman in the lead. 3.3 seconds is the lead from Forza in the Aston Martin. A little bit of lag there from Forza from the Hyper team. His teammate had to leave us due to I don't know. I'm assuming it's personal from the fact that we don't know what it was, but we don't know. But Stormfly's making his way up the order already. Stormfly up into the top 3, really getting some power and some pace out of that Cayman. Nick, John Baker in the BMW just behind him, but with Aussie Rooster and Kevin 77 crawling all over him. So Kevin really looking to make some moves, and are coming together there between Aussie and Kevin 77. Big battle there, Nick, John Baker, Kevin and Aussie all coming together. Big crash there halfway round this track, and this is what happens when you've got people coming through from the back. You have to pick your overtaking spots, and I think that's something that's going to have to be looked at from a replay perspective, just to see what went on there, whether there was an overtake that could have waited, or or if it was just a racing incident where one car went a little bit squirrely and then caught another car. So we'll have a look at that and see what happens. So that changes everything. Manxman's still in the lead. He's 4.7 seconds clear now of Forza in the Aston Martin. Stormfly running in 3rd place. He's 6/10 back. He's made a good movement through the order, as has Ranger. Ranger up to fourth, but he's got 4-second penalty to serve. That should bring FeR right into contention here. FeR running 5 seconds back, but 4-second penalty is a big penalty to serve, and will cost him, it cost him more time somewhere else, but not so much here. But it's still, it's a beautiful. We love it. Couldn't quite see what happened with that one. They were just round the corner when it happened, but it looked like 3 was trying to go into 1, and it just doesn't go. And we've got a hard and fast rule that if you're the driver behind, whatever happened, if you're the driver coming from behind, this is on you to make sure the gap is there, and if there's possibly the gap closes, you've got to consider that. But we don't know what happened. I'm not going to speculate without looking at it from all the angles before a decision is made on that one. FeR up to 5th place. He's running the soft tyres. Is anyone in that front apart from Rangers running the medium tyres? But he's got a 4-day penalty to serve. Manxman softs, Stormfly soft. He's up to 2nd place now. He's got himself ahead of Forza. But as we know, Forza is serving. He's on the medium tyres. Sorry. Rangers serving that 4-second penalty very soon, and we're going to see. I thought we might see Yellow Sausages or FeR catch him, but the gap's open right up actually. 6.4 seconds. Yellow Sausages opting for the mediums, which will make him quicker, of course, on the soft tyres in the second stint. FeR running these soft tyres. If he wants to capitalise on those, he needs to get past Yellow Sausages, needs to get further up the road. He's got Wiggy behind him, Wiggy back up into 7th. He had coming together a little set too. This is one thing when you're racing a track like this that everybody's not super familiar with. You will see crashes like that. And Wiggy in 7th. He's got Kevin. He's back up to 8th place. He was last after that. There was a 3-way coming together between himself and Aussie, and I think it was Forza, wasn't it? The 3 of them having a coming together. Cool Runnings in 9th place. He needs to make sure he doesn't overfuel it this time and gives himself the best possible opportunity. Old Man J in 10th. Didn't have a great start. Couldn't capitalise on a start in the front row. As the cars behind him just swallowed him up. And Aussie Rooster making a move up the inside on Old Man J. Nick John Baker trying to follow him through. He's tucked in behind Old Man J right now to be in 12th place. But Manxman here on lap 4, still in the lead of this race. The gap has come down though, 2.4 seconds. His fastest lap is a 150.4. We're on lap 4. He's going to round this, and maybe his fastest lap. We'll have a look and see in a minute. Stormfly starting to make a bit of a charge. He's opened up a gap from Forza, almost 4 seconds. Well over 4 seconds now. As Forza had a problem because that gap is opening up crazy fast, crazy big. 4.2 seconds opened that up to. Ranger, who was second in race number 1, is lagging his way around the racetrack like a breakdancing Aston, like Aston Marigold, the guy from JLS, who's a breakdancing Aston, isn't he? It's sort of look at it. It's all over the place. It's jittery as hell. It's like someone's used speed in the tank instead of petrol. Wiggy running in 5th. He's got Kevin for company in 6th. The pair of them trying to recover from a couple of early crashes. You're right, Tom. I hope everything was all right and you didn't lose out too much. There wasn't too many problems or anything. So Kevin trying to make his way past Wiggy. They've got a lot of work to do because they've both found themselves at the back of the pack after crashes on the same lap in separate incidents. But it's Sylvia versus Sylvia. So this is a really good battle. Kevin makes the move up the inside. Wiggy, though, running on those medium tyres, will run a little bit longer and get those out of the way and be racier in the second half of this race. Pit window will open on lap 7-ish for some. Some will run lap 8 or maybe even lap 9. That's what we saw in race number 1 anyway. Oh, bloody hell. Horrible when that happens, isn't it? FeR running in 7th place. He has got Yellow Sausages crawling all over the back of him. But again, he's on those medium compound tyres. So looking to go racy towards the end in that Supra. Looking for a way through. Is there an opportunity here? Does he pulls out the slipstream, goes side by side into the little kinky, goes through past the Cayman, up into 7th place. 2.3 seconds he is behind Wiggy. Can he get involved in that battle for 5th place? between Wiggy and Kevin 77. Love it when it's all mixed up like this. Stormfly has taken the lead of this race. He's 3.2 seconds clear. This is going to be a really good opportunity for Stormfly to put some solid points on the board here. Having kind of avoided, there was quite a bit of carnage between the faster cars in that kind of midfield as they were making their way through. And that's always the danger, you know, when you are one of the front runners and you start in a reverse grid and you're trying to make your way through to the front. Inevitably, you know, there are going to be drivers around you that don't have the experience or necessarily the skill that you do, and it just means you need to be a little bit more aware of what you're doing, and you know, it's part of the jeopardy of the race actually from coming from behind like that. And I think that's why it's going to be a really interesting race series with reverse championship order being the way to start from your qualifying. Because what it does is, well, firstly, it gives the guys at the back of the championship an opportunity to pick up some good points and make it much closer in terms of racing. But it also stops the fast guys going out and chucking out massively quick laps and just, you know, basically running around and out at the front of the racetrack, out of trouble, out of any danger, just kind of able to get on with it without any jeopardy involved. And, you know, we all want it to be much closer racing. Yeah, but, you know, next week at Tokyo, mate, it's going to be an absolute fucking beast. The tracks with the long straights, it'll be good at. The thing is, though, you can, you know, when you've got tracks like Tokyo, you can scrub off a lot of the aero, can't you? And that'll help you. Anyway, you picked it, man. You were the one that put it in the mix. Surprised, actually. I suppose it is. That's why I kind of let other people pick the cars, because I always think to pick the wrong ones. So Stormfly, 4.9 seconds, he's clear. Here in stint number 1. Weather looking a little bit ropey. I don't know if that sky is indicative of anything, or if it's just a little bit foggy. I hope that's not rain clouds we see above. That would really mix things up. Yeah, I've got short gears, and I'm very good at coming out of the hole as well. Yeah. Anyway. Less said about that, the better. Manxman still hanging in there in second. Started at the front of the grid, having finished at the back of the pack first race. So we're running very well in second, which just goes to prove this reverse grid thing isn't a bad shout. He is 7.6 clear of Ranger. Ranger was second in race number 1. He's running in third place. He's on medium tyres, so we'll be racier in part 2. Yeah, whatever. I never. I can get away with saying more stuff here because we're doing our home races, so I can be ruder. Kevin's just behind him, 1.1 seconds, but he's approaching his pit window, and he'll want to get ahead of Ranger and try and build a gap before the pit. That would have been his ideal, but that's not going to happen here because his pit window is fast approaching, and Ranger on those medium tyres will be racier in part 2. Or the second stint, as it's more commonly known. Wiggy made his way back up the order. I'll tell you what, it's been good racing actually from Kevin and Wiggy, because both of them had incidents which knocked them way down the order. Wiggy had a coming together with, I'm not quite sure who it was he had a coming together with, but he found himself in last place, and he has to work his way back through. So from the back to almost the midfield, and then again done the same thing. Stormfly in, Manxman in, Ranger stays out, Kevin in. What about Wiggy? Wiggy comes in as well to ditch those medium compound tyres. Forza also in, Yellow Sausages in, Fubar in, Cool Runnings in, everyone piling into the pits. Aussie Rooster, one of those that was involved in that three-man gangbang with Kevin. It was Kevin, Aussie and Forza all coming together. So Aussie also in. Old man Jay, is he going to come in as well? He's on those medium tyres. He's running in 11th place at the minute. He's 37 seconds ahead of Nick John Baker. But he has already pit for his medium compound tyres. And decided to pit a little bit earlier, which isn't necessarily the best idea here. I think those runners that went in a little bit later that fueled right seem to fare better in race number 1. But he will come around. So everybody has now, other than so Yellow Sausage actually stayed out. Well, he stayed out, but he was facing the wrong way. You can't park that there, mate. So he's cost himself loads of time. He's lost his back end and a little bit of damage for him. So he's got to. So whatever benefit he thought he was going to get by staying out a lap later, that benefit's gone. Completely wiped out in the blink of a spin. So at the moment, Ranger looking really, really good at the moment. 16 and a bit seconds clear at the front. He does still need to pit, of course, but he'll be pitting onto the soft compound tyres. And we'd watch much, much more of his racing if his car wasn't lagging about like a drugged up 4-year-old. That is basically, so if you're on a train and you give a kid some Smarties, that's what they do. They just bounce around like that. Yellow Sausages will finally get round to the pits eventually, and he'll come in as well. So will Stormfly regain the lead? I think he probably will. He's not too far back. He currently has the fastest lap with a 1:49.1. His entire resistance now is about keeping that car as far ahead of Kevin as he possibly can. He will come through and he will take or retake the lead of this race. So he crosses the line for lap 9. Now what was it? 17 laps for Kevin, 16 for most, 15 for a couple in that last race. So in all, race number 1. So we are basically looking at essentially the same here now. I don't think we're going to make 17 laps though, because the pace up front took a while to ramp up when Stormfly got there. So Stormfly now out in front. He's 9.4 seconds from Manxman, who's still keeping himself there or thereabouts. And credit to him, because he didn't have a great first race. Found himself at the back of the pack and has really capitalised on this reverse grid. Kept himself in the mix for the top 3. And this is where reverse grid is brilliant, because it's going to mean that anybody really with a couple of good performances can keep themselves in the championship fight. Ranger running in 3rd. He was 2nd in race number 1. This is a good points haul for him. He's got Kevin 1 second behind him now. Kevin's gap to the leader is 12 seconds. He was more than that ahead at the end of the race in race number 1, but he's got to overtake 3 cars to get there. And taking very different lines, Ranger, than Manxman. So Ranger does go around Manxman into the lead, and I think Manxman stayed out of his way purely because of how bad he's lagging. You really don't want a car lagging that badly, causing problems. I mean, this is the view from the car. If you try to overtake a car that's doing that, it's just such a risky move. Me myself, if I'm racing, and I don't overtake people often as anyone's racing is aware, but if the car in front of me is lagging like that and I can make an overtake, I just won't. It's just not worth it, because you don't know where the car's going to be when you make the next move. Welcome back. Did it finish 4-1, TJ? So Kevin tucked in behind Manxman. He is ready to make this move. This is the view from the back of Manxman's car. I tell you what, it's very difficult not to be intimidated when you're running in the top 3, looking to pick up some points, and the current champion, the guy that won race number 1, is bearing down on your back wing. It really kind of makes you think how you're going to stop him. Kevin will find a gap. If there's one available, he'll find it and he'll go through it. And it looks like he's got the run this time. He's in that silver, which is very, very good straight line pace. Up the inside, he makes that move, makes it look relatively easy as well against that Supra. And the Supra was no slouch either. He was watching a wonderful talk show. No, I bet you were. They don't do talk shows on Pornhub, mate. Wiggy up to 5th place. Good recovery from him. What happened there? Did he? I expected to see him going around the corner, and he just didn't. Disappeared onto the grass. It would have been nice if the camera had kind of followed him a bit better. These kind of fixed road cameras, it would have been nice to kind of follow off where he went. Not expecting him to go one way, but he didn't. Forza running in 6th place in the Aston Martin. Ranger is the lead Aston Martin, of course. Forza is running in 6th place. I'm quite tempted to add a little car like championship alongside the like a team championship kind of thing alongside the actual championship. I might do that. We'll see. We'll put the points up and see what happens. But he's running in 6th at the moment, 2.1 seconds behind Wiggy. He's on the soft tyres now, so can he close down on Wiggy? Although Wiggy himself is also on the softs. FeR running in 7th place. A Tour de France helicopter view, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? What would be really cool is a load of bicyclists racing against the cars. Acutely aware I don't want to offend Ozzy. I know he likes his cycling, but he doesn't cycle in London, and people cycling in London are cunts. For the most part, not everyone. There are some that are nice, but most of them are cunts. Mr. Cool Runnings. He is coolly running in 8th place, 6.7 seconds behind FeR. Been a little bit more conservative with the fuel this time. Yeah. Well, I don't want to kill him, but there are times you wish you could just nudge them out of the way with a massive bull bar on the front of your car. So he is, yes, he's coolly running 4.3 seconds ahead of Ozzy and 6.6 seconds behind FeR. There is Ozzy in the strike is a free car spin. You can spin for a new car every time you run over a cyclist. So Ozzy in the Aston Martin, 3.7 seconds behind Cool Runnings. He's got yellow sausages bearing down on him. The gap is less than half a second. But with that penalty to serve, it should, even if yellow sausages makes the overtake, it should keep Ozzy safely ahead at this stage. And yellow sausages' best bet here is just to sit in that slipstream. Conserve a little bit of fuel, conserve some tyres. Let Ozzy go about his business because he's got penalty to serve anyway. It's silly to try and make that move if you don't need to. He's putting out the slipstream, so maybe he's having a look to have a go. Round the outside maybe, doesn't work this time. Just tuck back in again. But you can see very different lines around here. And there's the penalty being served, and look at the difference. Straight away Ozzy able to just pull away. Nick John Baker is ahead of old man Jay. He's on the medium tyres though. Jay is on the softs. So there's going to be an attempt around the outside. Are we going to see the old switcheroonie? We don't see it that time. Old man Jay again. Look, again. Nick, we see the defender taking that really tight inside line. And the aggressor trying the kind of big sweeping move from the outside. But this battle is raging. Go on board with old man Jay and watch him try and take down the BMW of Nick John Baker. And I'm not going to pretend I haven't noticed that the people we've lost are BMW drivers. Less about that, the better. But these cars will pick 4B rear-wheel drive. Yeah, he wasn't feeling well. He hasn't been feeling well all week, so yeah, he said he was still in chat earlier. He was still not well. I'm surprised actually he made it at all. Yeah, when you're sick, it's just so hard to concentrate. And then, yeah, car he wasn't really that familiar with. He hadn't had time to practice with. Yeah, I'm not calling rage quit on anyone tonight. So here, he's got to run this time, Jay. He's got to run on him, and on a relatively good part of the racetrack for making an overtake. Again here, can he... Nick really... I'll tell you what Nick is doing very well. He's defending that inside line, but it's making him so much slower. And Jay's getting a much better run out of the corners on those soft compound tyres. And here he is making that run now. Good long straight here. He's down side by side they are. And he just getting that power down earlier means your speed at the end of the straight coming into the corner is going to be that much better. Nick John Baker not able to stop him there. It's also well and good defending the inside line on the corners, but there's nothing you can do when they take you in a straight line. You just have to tuck in behind and hope that they don't fuck off up the road too far. So there is your race leader, Stormfly. He's 6.5 seconds clear now of Ranger. Ranger's getting himself another second place. He's lagged his way into second twice, and this is the second time. And but he has got Kevin behind him. It's not over for him yet. Can he secure 2 out of 2 second places? If he does, he's going to win my driver of the day. If he doesn't, he won't. Well, no, he's not going to win driver of the day because, one, I'm not going to give out a driver of the day because I can't be bothered. Oh, yeah, I might though, but I'm not giving him any points for it, and he's lagging too much, so I can't actually see what he's up to. 2 seconds back is Kevin. We're on lap 13. We've got 3 laps remaining here, and that's how long it's going to take him to, or what Kevin has got, in order to take that place from Ranger. 7.9 seconds is the gap to Stormfly. I think that's out of reach. Stormfly with the fastest lap of the race with a 49.1. Kevin's fastest lap 49.2. But he is doing that on a relatively consistent basis, even on the medium compound tyres. He did a 49.2 on the softs. He did a 49.261 on the mediums. Super quick. But that's why they call him the Alien, and that is why he is the GR4 Lottery reigning champion. There is Wiggy. He's doing some decent times in that Sylvia. As he just completes lap 13. There's a yellow flag ahead. Kevin spun his car. So just pushing. He must have caught that little outcrop. That's the outcrop right there. That Manxman hits it as well. Absolute murders that little bit there. We've seen 5 cars hit that at some stage in this race. Race number 1, it cost Wiggy loads of time. We've just seen Kevin's caught it. Manxman caught it straight after Kevin did. And Stormfly has just been disconnected. That is not good. So that promotes everybody up. So we've lost Stormfly to a disconnection. On lap 13 or lap 14 of this race. That promotes Ranger to first place. Wiggy up to second. We don't actually have a thing in place for a disconnection this close to the end of the race, but I think we're going to have to accept that there should be still some points to hand out, technically or not. But it looks like Ranger is by default going to win this race here, just because of technical issues and everything else that went on. Kevin desperately trying to get back around Manxman, and both of them caught that little outcrop of a wall. As you come round, and it's brutal, absolutely brutal, because it just kind of sticks out there on the racetrack as your car is drifting out to that that right hand side, when you're going flat out through that left hand kink. And Kevin caught it and put himself into the wall, had to get himself back out. Wiggy went flying through, he's now 9.5 seconds up. Manxman then caught it as well. So that probably cost him the opportunity of staying a bit further ahead of Kevin. But this is the full rundown. So we've got Ranger in the lead in the Aston Martin by great driving to get himself up to second place, but a bloody stroke of luck as well. 10.7 seconds clear of Wiggy, who himself was lucked out. Bearing in mind that he made his way through, had a coming together, and then back to the back of the pack, and then back through again. So good racing for him up into second place in the Sylvia. He is 9.3 seconds clear of Kevin, and we're on lap 15 of what will be 16. Will be 16 laps here. Manxman 2.2 seconds back in fourth place. He started in pole position for this reverse grid race and finds himself running in fourth. So that's a good run from him. He managed to stem the tide of all of the cars flowing backwards from the front and kept himself out there and in the mix. Forza in fifth place, 5.5 seconds back from Manxman. He's going to have to look after his fuel for this last lap or so. Is anyone struggling for fuel? That's the question. Doesn't look to me that anybody is. Certainly those running for Forza. I think Forza will have to fuel map it and just look after it. But he's 3 seconds clear of Fubar. Fubar can give it full beans though. He's on medium tyres, which is going to make it a little bit difficult. But he's got plenty of fuel on board, which means full beans for him. There's a great shot from that sort of church downwards. And then we see there, Cool Runnings. Here he comes. Cool Runnings has got Yellow Sausages behind him. Yellow Sausages got Aussie Rooster behind him. These three are still racing for 7th place. Cool Runnings on the medium tyres. Again, loads and loads of fuel. Yellow Sausages is kind of very... One thing Yellow Sausages is very good at is fuel calculation. Puts on exactly... It seems to have just exactly the right amount to cross the line. Not often you'll see him cross the line with more than 1 or 2 litres of fuel Sometimes you'll see him cross with none, and there was even a race at Barcelona where he crossed the line with 0 tyres as well. He's making the move on Cool Runnings right now. He's tucked in behind. Is there an opportunity here? Goes side by side. There's this little left-hander, and he doesn't make the move that time, but he is looks like he's a little bit quicker through this part of the racetrack. Brakes much later, round the outside. They go side by side. Rubbin is racing. Can he make the move into this next turn here? Coming up, it's a big right-hander here. Both down into lifting and then 4th gear. And then on the power again. Where's the opportunity going to come next? Is everyone going to stay away from the outcrop? That's the thing. A really dangerous outcrop. A little bit wide there from Cool Runnings, and Yellow Sausage is able to chuck it up the inside, as did Aussie. Aussie makes the move on both of them up into 7th. So Yellow Sausages makes the move on Cool Runnings, and Aussie says, screw the lot, I'm going past both of you. And up into 7th place for Aussie. It's a great move from Aussie. 2-man switcher-witcher-rooney for him. Nick John Baker is ahead of... sorry, I didn't watch Range across the line, did I? That's because he's given me a little bit of fit. Nick John Baker is 13 seconds clear of Old Man Jay, who's had a crash. Wiggy comes up in 2nd. Great there from Wiggy. Great finish from him. Kevin comes home, does get himself back into the top 3. 3rd place for him. Manxman will come home in 4th place. Good, solid points finish from Manxman. Forza in 5th place. Not a bad first performance with us. Top 5 for your first race with Black Flag. Got to be happy with that. Fubar home in 6th place. Yellow Sausages does get back past Aussie Rooster. Comes home in 7th. Aussie Rooster in 8th. Cool Runnings in 9th. They all finish very, very close together. Nick John Baker is 14 seconds clear of Old Man Jay. He's on the medium tyres. He's only got a few corners left, so bar a wobble and a crash, he's going to finish ahead of Old Man Jay to take 10th place and 11th for Old Man Jay. We lost Stormfly with a couple of laps remaining. I think we'll have a discussion about what we do points-wise for that. I think if you're getting disconnected, if you're going to leave the race, you're getting disconnected 2 laps from the end. You should get a race win. So it wouldn't be fair on the person that didn't end up winning it. But you shouldn't be penalised by getting 0 points for not finishing. I think there needs to be some sort of something in place for that. It's not that he's going to rage quit from first. There was clearly some sort of disconnection. So Old Man Jay comes home in 11th place. So what a great race. We had a few problems early on with the lobbies. We lost essentially 4 drivers. 3 after race number 1. 1 to illness, 1 to an emergency that didn't need to do. And Stormfly arrives back at the very last minute.com. So let's screenshot that, shall we? So we've got the results. Screenshot that, so we've got the results. We do need to take a look at a couple of instances, I think. Yeah, 0-0-0 on the, that's the way it needs to be. 0.00 on the line is the perfect fueling strategy. Is it not? That's exactly how it should be. Good 5th place finish from you, my friend. Yeah, so we've got a couple of instances that we need to look at. So I will save the replay and look at those. And we'll... it could be they're just racing incidents, but we'll soon find out. But there we go. So that's race number 1 over at Sardegna. We move on. Next week we are at Tokyo, where we expect to see the BMWs perform better. Well, we'll see how everyone gets on. It will be a reverse championship grid to start that race, followed by another reverse grid. So the faster you are, the further back you start, essentially. But there we go. A good win there from... I don't know if you were. There was a 3-way incident. I know there was 2 cars definitely involved, but your name was sort of... I don't know whether your car was there or whether just your name was up in the thingy, because there was a lot. It was quite early on, so all the cars were quite close together. You may not have been involved in it. I don't know who. I know there was 3 cars involved. I don't know whether anyone went. I think it was a racing incident, to be fair, from what I could see. yeah, it was a bit mental. I'll have a look at it anyway. Yeah, I'm not sure if it was you. Your name was just there. But there we go. So that's that race done and dusted. We're finished. Congratulations to what's his bloody name? I forgot his name. Congratulations to Ranger. Good race from him. Congratulations to Kevin. Won race number 1. Congratulations to Stormfly, but commiserations because you got disconnected right near the end. But anyway, it is what it is. We move on. Next week we're on to Tokyo. Let me save the replay. Where is the replay to save? I haven't got it to save. Hopefully someone saved it for me. That would be useful. Yeah, so anyway, we move on to Tokyo next week. Someone will save the replay and I'll send it to me. What's next? So tomorrow we're back with late night racing on Formula 1 2022 and we're at the glorious Silverstone for that. And then Wednesday we're back with the GR3. But thanks for joining me here on Black Flag Racing TV. I've been Aaron Pirate. This has been Black Flag Racing TV with the GR4 lottery. Catch you tomorrow if you're interested. And back here next week for more of the same. Laters, bitches.